Hello, Tim and Andrea. Sean Taylor here, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the house. Absolutely agree. Tear all this out. I'd probably tear that tree out too because it just looks terrible, and I think it would just have much more open feel through here. I'd also consider pulling out this juniper bush as well, because if you trim it back, especially if you cut down the top, my guess is it'll look pretty barren. And if you just tear that out, put in some nice rock or something across there, a couple new plants, that would look really nice. I like how you took down the gate out here. If it goes back up, that's probably fine too, but nobody really does those anymore. So it's probably better without them. You can leave them in the garage or something if someone wants to put them back up. I noticed some flashing issues that will get called out during the inspections for sure. So for instance, right here, and right over here. Also, if you notice up there, you've got the soffits coming out underneath. Same thing up there on this side. It looks like there's just one layer of the roof, and the roof doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of sagging over here, but it's not severe, so that's good. I love your idea of replacing the front door, getting all this cleaned up. Trim back this bush, of course. Out here, this piece of concrete's dropping about 2 inches. And it's got the nice crack there and it's dipping over there. I do have a guy that can come out here, usually with an injector, and they lift that right back up. Usually it's pretty inexpensive, 100 or 200 bucks, something like that, but you'd have to get a bid, of course, on that. A lot of work over here. You're fine to leave the shed. Maybe slap a coat of paint on it, but it's not really necessary because I'm guessing whoever buys it might just tear it out anyway. And then if you can level this out and, like you said, put sprinklers and, you know, grass in or whatever, I'd pull the tree stump, knock down some of these other shrubs and stuff that look really terrible. You'll want to get this fixed. That's about $3 bucks. And make sure that this line is cleared out. It's a fire hazard. The fact that there's a gas hookup, that's fantastic. As you're doing your landscaping, it would be a really good idea to put rock 2 or 3 feet out away from the side of the house. And if you notice, the property slopes right here, but then it goes back towards the house. And this will get called out on all inspections. It's supposed to be a negative grade away from the home. So if this can be kind of leveled and terraced out, that'd be great. Little things like this will get called out too. See how there's a gap down there? That can be stuffed with steel wool. And when they do the landscaping here, I'd recommend they put the little wells around it. This little steel wells that go around there, especially if the dirt gets built up a little bit there. This will also keep water entry from the lower level of the house. And again, the flashing here doesn't look very good. It could be to code, I don't know. I do see the steel flashing underneath these flaps that are coming out. But I would recommend maybe getting a roofer or someone out there to inspect it. You do have these nails pulling up right there. See on that kick out on that flashing right there. So again, just have someone come out and inspect that. You've got this coming down right here, that'll get called out. So that needs to get pushed back up, and just have them go around the whole house, checking all those things out. I agree with Andrea, we should paint the brick. When you're doing it, you might want to do a couple little caulking things down here. So it's got some, not much, just a tiny bit. I would also recommend just hitting the garage with a coat of paint completely, making sure all the fire tape is to code. Any of it that's kind of peeled off or whatever, that will get called out in all inspections for sure. So make sure that that's done. On this door, obviously I think that should get replaced. And on this one, painted, but it doesn't have any of the correct hinges. It's supposed to have at least one self-closing hinge. A lot of people will put another one down here because that door has a fire thing. This is a core door, so that's fine, but it should have the self-closing hinges. Okay, inside now, completely agree about replacing those in the front door. I saw the light fixtures you have out in the garage. Those are fantastic. In here, oh boy, I love the vaulted ceilings. The blinds look pretty good. Fireplace, I agree, paint that. And this step, we measured it, it's exactly 8 inches, so that is to code. The flooring is a little bit tricky. I see they put down some of the paper here, but you've got this ledge here. And one thing I hate when I go into a house is when there's a big transition strip. And if it's offset, you know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, they just look terrible and they're tripping hazards. So if you wanted to go with the hard surface, I would recommend, you know, you could probably, you've got plenty of space with the ledge right there. So if you did want to cover all this with the same type of laminate flooring throughout this whole area, that'd be great. And then in here, if you could extend it in there, that would be ideal. Or if you wanted to go with some sheet vinyl, because the laminate flooring will be raised up, and then you could do a sheet in there. Some people actually prefer that in kitchen and dining areas for water reasons, but so many of the laminates now, or vinyl plank, are water resistant, so that would be fine too. Cabinets have been painted since the old listing, and I think if it were me, because they're kind of dinged up, I would go ahead and paint them a bright white color. And I like your ideas of the cabinets there. Right here, I would do an open, some sort of like the open shelving, you know, like one of those nice, once this is all painted bright white, with a nice kind of wood shelf up there. We could stage it up a little bit or something. Wherever we have the cheapy blinds, replace those. You know, they got those little $6 ones in there. Countertops would be great to replace them, but these aren't terrible. And if the kitchen's painted, it might be fine. One thing I noticed throughout the house is when you paint this, your kind of nice bright white color, all the outlets are going to be this, you know, the old-fashioned kind of yellowy color. And I know it's a pain in the butt, but it's going to look kind of bad with the bright white, and then have all these manila colored outlets throughout the house. So you can't just change the plates because the outlet themselves are the same color. So you'll probably want to replace those so they just look nice and bright. The railing here is painted, I don't know what color that is, kind of a brown color, and it's chipping here and there. I would hit that with the black. The black colors look great with the bright white. And I think everywhere where they had carpet before up there, I would just replace it with carpet, just like it looks like you're planning on doing already. I think that's a great idea. And the basement carpet I didn't think actually looked too bad. I think you can get away with just cleaning that. This bathroom's not too bad. I would paint the cabinets, of course. This one's not necessarily required because it kind of matches the tile that's in here. Ceiling that needs to get scraped because you can see the water entry. One thing I would check on was to make sure that these are vented outside the home. When this house was built, it was not uncommon for them to vent it up into the attic. And usually when they did that, we have mold issues because it would just pump all that moisture right into the attic space. So you definitely want to get that inspected before you list it, and make sure those are vented properly. Master bedroom, it's going to look great with new carpet and paint. I agree with you that the bathroom is terrible. It's a horrible size bathroom, especially that shower. It's one like the size you get in a mobile home or something, but it's just tiny. I would probably just clean it really good, recalk it, call it a day, put in a not a retractable, but detachable shower head in there, make it look a little bit nicer. Again, scrape all the paint. That's the reason why this paint's peeling so bad. It's because of the moisture in here. Same deal with the vent here. Make sure that's vented outside. Toilet looks fine. Again, if you're going to paint the kitchen and the other cabinets, you might want to paint these white as well. Upstairs bedrooms are fine. I like the fact there's no popcorn ceilings on them. Once you're done touching up the texture and painting them and putting in carpet, they're going to look great. I do recommend the new blinds throughout the upstairs. 2-inch faux blinds is what I'd recommend. Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart actually beats both of those box stores by a little bit on their pricing, and so I'd recommend them. Back to that guest bathroom upstairs. There's water damage down here to that, you can see that down there. I'd replace that piece of wood right there And then just make sure everything's caulked really good, like in that corner. Yeah, that caulking looks pretty good there, but same thing, there's water damage on that piece of wood and that will get called out. So I would just replace that piece of wood right there. Downstairs area, I love the way this white turned out here, great job. Again, I think the carpets are fine. I'm not smelling any weird smells down here. Replace those blinds, they're pretty beat up. Got paint on them too. Door looks great. Flooring looks fine. This room here, same thing. I would just pretty much leave it the way that it is. Get the carpets clean, put up new blinds, or put back up the ones that were here. That'll be fine because they kind of match this pergo flooring or laminate flooring right here. I would replace this light right here. You can either do, similar, not the chain thing going across there, but if you wanted to put in a couple recessed can lights, that'd be great, or just a couple of cheaper, more modern light fixtures, that would be ideal. In the closet, we have the water heater, and it smells pretty bad back here, almost like maybe there's something dead inside there, I don't know. But I noticed that there's moisture down here, so you'll want to get that checked out. I can't really tell what's causing it, but I would maybe investigate that because the water heater looks pretty new. So I don't know if that's coming off that Colgan system back there or what the issue is. Still downstairs in the laundry area, I think this flooring is just fine. It's a nice vinyl sheet. It's in good shape. This door's a bit chipped up and stuff, but I think with the new paint it'll be fine. Same thing in here, this bathroom's fine. I think I already said that. This is the patch job there, looks pretty good. Again, probably paint the cabinets. Let's get that fresh look. Back to the garage, I would probably tear this out. It's pretty hodgepodge. If you leave this, paint it. And same thing over here, if you leave this unit there, probably paint it. You can probably leave this one too, just get it all nice and bright white. This one right here, I lean towards just taking it down because most people probably want to put some storage racks in here or some nicer shelving. Garage, I don't know if this is attic access point here or not, but you can tell how it used to be trimmed out. It was torn down and that was sealed up. I'm not sure if the inspector is going to require access or what you want to do with this spot, but that could end up being an issue there if it is supposed to be an access point to make sure that it is still an access point. It's hard to tell exactly what that is there. And then any holes like this one right here, you'll want to get that, just put a cover plate over it or do something with that. Same thing along the perimeter of the home, anywhere where a rodent or anything could get access into the house, you'll need to get those patched up. If it's a tiny thing like in that foundation vent, you can stuff some steel wool in there or just put a new vent cover on it. I think you probably know this already, but some of the fencing's pretty terrible, so get that fixed up. Back outside again, the patio, they've got some, it's nice that the wood siding is elevated about 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches off of the roof line right here. And it has the flashing underneath it, which is great, but it looks like on top of the patio that there's a bunch of wood damage right along there, along that trim piece. And so that's getting into the siding and stuff, so you'll want to get that inspected and fixed if necessary. And again, the flashing along that edge is pretty bad. And you can tell that there's water damage in this corner, oops, right there. So again, I would get a roofer out here to address all those issues. I don't think you're looking at a huge expense. And the same thing up there, like I was talking about the chimney. It doesn't look great, and so they're definitely gonna get called out in inspection. So maybe restuccoing that a little bit or a little bit of plaster on there and make sure that those, whatever they're called, I'm not sure what that is, but making sure all that's flashed properly so there can't be water entry. Also, on the other side, there's some roof vents that stick out, and they're just little boots that go around the vent tubes, and normally those are cracked, and they get called out on almost every inspection. They're only a couple bucks each, but you'll probably want to get those replaced. You've got, I'm not sure what this is, but there's wires sticking out. and I'm not sure what they're for. I don't know if it's electric or if maybe they ran a hot tub out here, which looks like what they did. So if those are hot wires, that's pretty dangerous. So you want to get an electrician or someone to check those out. If it needs to get capped, that would probably be fine too. But that's something you're definitely going to want to take care of.